Okay, I'm going to do an example of a fairly simple voltage divider circuit, a series resistor circuit. In this case, we have four 1 kilo ohm resistors in series. This is really simple because the values of the resistors are all the same. I'll do one after this with a variety of values that'll be a little harder, but the process will be the same. And we can take some shortcuts here that we can't take in the more complicated ones, but I won't do those to start with. So the first thing we need to do, we know our voltage, we know our resistance of each resistor. We want to find now the total resistance. And that's just simply adding the resistors together. So 1K plus 1K plus 1K plus 1K is 4 kilo ohms. So that's our total resistance. So now we're going to use Ohm's law. So our total voltage is 40 volts. We know that that voltage has to be divided amongst the four resistors. So our total resistance of 4 kilo ohms is going to use up that 40 volts of voltage. So V equals IR. So it's going to be I times our resistance, which is 4 kilo ohms. Now Ohm's law is in volts, amps, and ohms. But one of the things we can do with math here is, since we're in kilo ohms, we know that our answer for current is going to be in milliamps. So we would divide it by 1,000 and multiply by 1,000 on the same side of the equation, so that equals out. So now that makes the math quite easy. So 40 volts, so we need to have our current is simply 40 volts divided by 4 kilo ohms. So I equals 10 milliamps. Now if we wanted to do it without the milliamps and kiloohms, we can. So we've got 40 volts equals current in amps times 4,000 ohms. So now we get I equals 40 volts divided by 4,000 ohms. And do the math there, and we're going to get I equals 0.01 amps, which is the same as 10 milliamps. I find this a lot easier, and we'll do a lot where the milliamps and kilo ohms will work together very well. So it's worth getting used to that. So now we know our current through the entire circuit. Because this is a series circuit, that means that's the current through each resistor as well. So we've got 10 milliamps through each resistor. And from that, we can find the voltage drop of each resistor. So again, Ohm's law, this time we want to find V, and we know I is 10 milliamps times 1 kilo ohm of resistance. So V simply equals 10 volts. Again, if we wanted to not use milliamps and kiloohms, we'll just do V equals 0.01 amps times 1,000 ohms. And again, we still get V equals 10 volts. Now, if we just want to find the voltage drop of each resistor, we don't have to do all this math if they're the same value. So we have four of the same value. We know that they're going to each drop the same amount, and their total has to add up to our total voltage. So that means that each one is going to drop 1/4 of the 40 volts. So each one is going to drop 10 volts. That only works if you have the same value of resistor on multiple times. But in that case, it does work. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll do a more complicated example next.